Welcome to Coffee and Bottles with Mathusha and Adriana.
Hi, I'm Mathusha.
And I'm Adriana. What a year.
I know. And, everyone was looking forward to 2021.
hmm
It just, I, I think it's might be similar.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I've seen those memes. You've probably seen it on the internet where they're just like,
Yeah.
I did my 7-day trial and I want my money back. I don't want to be on here anymore.
Or or 2020 showing 2021 around.
Yeah.
And it's the it clowns. Well, let's look at all the brighter things or the
Yes.
great things that came out of 2020.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
you go first.
Well, for one thing, this
Yeah.
our podcast.
Yeah.
Mm, definitely.
It's and it happens so randomly. It just
Yeah, it really
we were
did.
we were in a we're in a mom's group with
hmm
us and one other friend
hmm
um and it has always been on my mind to like start a podcast, but
hmm
specifically about being a mom
hmm
and not being able to find content that was more Canadian based.
Yeah.
Um, and so like obviously our podcast is relatable to everyone, but just certain things that you're looking for that Canadian um, influence, right? So
hmm
we were just chatting. We were talking about something. I don't even remember what we were chatting about. Random. Oh, it happened randomly.
Yeah, it really was random.
Yeah, we were just chatting about something. I don't remember what we were talking about.
hmm
And then I said, "Hey guys, want to start a podcast, or we should start a podcast?"
Yeah. I know. Like just out of nowhere. And it was so funny because the whole time, like, because my husband, well, has started playing around with YouTube and like creating content for his channel and whatever. So he kind of inspired me to do something as well. I in the past I had tried to start a blog, but again, like what we were saying, I hate writing and obviously my
Yes.
English is horrible. So I was like,
Same.
oh, I have to find something that I can do. And then, like, because of COVID, I was
Hmm.
listening to a podcast, which my sister introduced me to, because I was like, sometimes I'm really bored when the kids are playing. And she's like, why don't you listen
Yeah.
to a podcast? I'm like, I can't do that. Like, like that's a blast. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, no, like you can still listen, but you can still watch them. Like, just be present. Like, you don't have to fully listen. I'm like, oh, okay, good point.
It's like in the background, right?
Yes, exactly. And then like yeah, and then you brought it up and I was like, yes, I'm in 100%.
Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
I think because of that just random thought and random just messages,
hmm
it sparked such a great year for us. Like
hmm
in this podcast and being able to share what we know and how we feel about motherhood and parenthood in general.
hmm
And I'm hoping everyone loves it, and I'm hoping that everyone finds it informational, but
Yes. Yeah.
also a good break from the day, and they can listen to it while they're watching their kids play.
Yeah, exactly. So that you don't always have to be listening to like Baby Shark or something that's
Exactly.
happening in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even
So,
like what you were saying, just like sometimes we have these mundane tasks or, things that we
Hmm.
have to do around the kitchen. So it's nice to just listen to something while you're doing that. So,
Yeah, of course. Especially after baby goes to sleep
mhm,
sometimes, right? Like you're tidying up everything and getting things ready for the next day.
yes,
Nice to
yeah,
just have it in the background, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Hmm. So that's one absolutely great, amazing thing that came out of 2020.
Absolutely. I agree. 100%.
What? Yes, 100%, 110%.
Yeah.
Um, I started a small business, so that was
Hmm.
very much a big task for me, but I'm so happy that I did it. And I found that usually when I have ideas, I sit on them or I think that they won't work out or
Hmm.
and this is the first I feel like it was the first time I actually put the pedal to the metal and I'm like, let's go, let's do this. Um, and I'm very happy with it. So
Yeah.
that was another great thing that came out of um, 2020.
Hmm.
And I think last but not least, I spent a whole year with my son on
Yes.
maternity leave.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, so in Canada, we have the 18-month maternity leave,
Hmm.
and um, it, it changed from a 1 year maternity leave. So it was pretty recent that they did that, and I chose to do the 18-month, and it was the best. It was amazing, every minute of it. I do not regret it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
I completely hear you. It
Hmm.
was it was also a blessing. Like as you know, as everyone knows, I am a
Hmm.
stay-at-home mom now. Um,
Yeah.
so it was really, really nice to be able to spend not just time with the girls, but just time as a whole family, right? Like
Hmm.
when there were certain days of lockdown where even for like my husband to take a break or, get some lunch or something,
Yeah.
that was nice family time that we could spend. And we
Hmm.
never really got that before because as you
No.
know, we moved really far away. So his commute was really long and
Hmm.
we didn't really see him during the day. So that's why I tried to like keep busy with the girls and we'd go to the early years and we discovered the library like
Hmm.
just before COVID, thank goodness, because we've
Yeah.
been using that to the fullest. And yeah, otherwise like I don't really know if like I don't know if I would have like appreciated it as much as I do now.
Yeah. No, I definitely understand the amount of time that we spend on the road getting to like commuting to work
Mhm. Mhm.
um and I know a lot of people were have said that pre-COVID they
Mhm.
would go to work, they would drop off their kid, go to work, and by the time they would come home and get
Mhm.
uh dinner ready, their kids are ready to go to sleep
Yeah.
and they don't have any real family time during the week. It's usually they live for the weekends.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
think being at home and, for those of us who work from home, it's amazing because you can, like you said, have lunch as a family, dinner as a family,
Mhm.
um, able to spend some real time together, like that hour that you would commute or 45 minutes that you would be on the road,
Yes.
depending on how long your commute is.
Mhm.
That's time that you're giving to your kids.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. And not like another thing I want to
Hmm.
point out, even before COVID, we wouldn't be home very much. like especially because we moved a little bit further from everyone,
Yeah.
we would spend like maybe a week or two at my parents, and then we'd spend another
Oh,
week or two at Mish's mom's and sister's
yeah.
place. So it's like, like we were hardly ever home, which I know
And
it sounds weird.
but so you got the opportunity to actually live in your home pretty much.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's why a small house wasn't that big of a deal for us in the beginning, because we
Hmm.
were hardly there, right? And we were like, oh,
Yeah.
we're going to so and so's place this week. All right, we better finish the food in the fridge. Like,
No, of course, but I was actually going to say being in a smaller space is must have gone like I thought maybe you guys would have gotten much closer,
we
right?
absolutely did. Like,
Yeah.
there were definitely pros, and then of course there were cons, but like, yeah, we definitely were way, like, we were really, really close. But again, the con was that we were too close. And like
Yeah.
even Pornish, like he didn't have space to work, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
Yeah, so like we'd be in the kitchen and he'd be
Hmm.
he'd be in a meeting and we're like, ah! Like it
No.
wasn't, yeah, it wasn't very good.
Yeah, for the work from home
Mhm.
aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because when I grew up in like a condo, right? And there was a
Mhm.
lot of people.
Mhm.
Like my grandmothers would come over and they would stay over.
Mhm.
So we were a lot of people
Mhm.
sometimes, maybe even like 6 or 7 people in a condo, like a
Yeah.
2 bedroom condo, right? So
Yeah.
it's pretty packed. But the one thing I remember is, you never feel alone.
Yes.
Never. Like you always feel surrounded by family, and like
Yeah.
yes, there's the privacy and all that, but other than that, it's a good feeling.
It is. It is nice.
Hmm.
I grew up in like a big household as well, with my
Yeah.
grandparents living with us and then my sister and me and my parents. So like, and then at one point I think my great grandma lived with us as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was a pretty packed house. And you're right, you really didn't feel alone, which was funny because
No.
when we first moved out, I was like,
Hmm.
there's nobody here. Like it's just the two of us. And especially like when I would come home first from work and I'm like, it's just me. Like
Yeah.
there's nobody watching TV right now. Like what is
Yeah.
but
And same thing when I moved out. Um, I was fortunate enough that I actually moved in with my 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 in-laws, but
mm,
my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law.
mhm,
So they were at the top floor, and we took over the basement.
mm,
And it didn't really feel alone when I came home from work. It was when I went down to the basement, and it was like they were having their family time, and then I was like, oh,
right.
Shan's still at work here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
What am I going to do? And the thing is, I've never really watched TV
Hmm.
years, right? Like as a kid, I watched TV all the time, but then I think once we hit university, I didn't really watch TV. And
Hmm.
working for how many years before getting married, I didn't really watch TV. But that's when I started like starting TV shows like, and I think I started off with like Game of Thrones because it was like the big thing back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but where am I going with this? What I'm trying to say is there's always that. I think it's a pro being in a smaller space with your family as well.
Hmm. Hmm. No, it was definitely nice because like, yeah, like I said, we were really close. Um,
Hmm.
if the space were just a little bit bigger, I think it
Yeah.
would have been okay. But yeah, I mean, we didn't
Yeah.
have a bedroom, so there you go.
You guys didn't have a bedroom?
No, so we had there were it was considered one room and one like smallish room, kind of like a den
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
something. Um, but we had a lot of storage. So we had like we needed an office and then
Yeah.
we needed like a room for our food and our freezer and our closet. So we kind of
Mm-hmm.
crammed all of that in there and sacrificed the bedroom.
Yeah.
So we used the living room and then we'd fold it all up and during the day
In the morning.
and
Yeah.
kids would play. And then at nighttime we'd just roll it back out.
You know what? You can say you did it,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yep, yep.
And you have a much bigger house to show for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
more family time. Shannon and I haven't fought as much.
mm,
We've I feel like our um biggest subject that we fight about is not spending enough time with each other, and that hasn't really come up.
yeah. Well, so we actually, good or bad, I don't know. But
Yeah.
we went through like a rough patch because like
Hmm.
obviously we were together all the time and whatever. Like even if he
Yeah.
was working, but he was still there, right? Whereas
Yeah.
normally he's not. So for us, I think that was really tough. And then thankfully, we
Yeah.
joined the library before, so I got some books on like marriage and like, you know, I
Yeah.
think I talked about it, the Scream-Free Marriage one. It was a
Hmm.
really
Yes,
good one.
you
It
mentioned that.
was such an eye opener. Like it was like it just changed my perspective, just changed my way of thinking. Where
Hmm.
where before like I probably would have been nitpicky about some things or like, you know,
Hmm.
a little bit hormonal or something. But the book really taught me to like actually, take a step back and take a look at things from a different perspective. And I think
Hmm.
because of that, it actually made our marriage stronger. Um,
Oh.
yeah, which was funny because it started off really like rough. And then it
Hmm.
eventually, now I think we're at like, I mean, we're not amazing, but we're not at each other's throat anymore. So that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
No, that makes complete sense.
Mhm.
We Yeah, like every couple's different, right? And you guys
Mhm.
thrived on like, you know, having time together, but also having time apart.
Yes. Yeah.
I think for our relationship, it was too much time apart because he worked different hours, I worked different hours.
Right.
I was on maternity leave, so I was still at the beginning of my maternity leave, and he was at work.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
him coming home at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night meant he didn't spend time with Mowgli, and that was always like a big note of contention. Am I saying that right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, so contention, um, and I think being at home meant he could see Mowgli
Hmm.
and take 10-15 minute breaks and actually be with the family. So
Yeah.
I think we, I think it has really brought us closer together, which is very good.
Yeah.
Um, but who knows what's going to happen whenever when we're actually back in.
We'll be right back. Having more like date nights and things, like
Oh,
impromptu ones, where it's just like, oh, kids are asleep. Okay, let's open the bubbly or something.
oh,
Right? Like
that's
it's
so
like
sweet.
it was like it was very, very what would have been seen as out of character before, where it's like, what do you
Mhm.
mean? I'm gonna go play my whatever game. But now
Oh,
it's like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Like, oh, yay.
that's so sweet. I need to ask Nish to talk to Shan. I'm kidding. Hey guys, this is what you should be doing.
Yeah. But it's true because like we don't have to wake up as early anymore, right? Like
Hmm. That's true.
there's so many good things that came from it.
Yeah, and I think the whole, I think there is a consensus that it did suck, but it didn't
Hmm.
really suck as much as we say it did.
Yeah, there's
But
always like
yeah,
what's it, the silver
lining.
lining. Thank you.
I knew that one.
Yay, good.
Some days.
Um, oh, another thing,
Hmm.
you and I think, learned how
Yeah.
to like use technology a little bit more.
I forgot about that. Yes.
Like we actually self-taught our, well, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Taught ourselves how to use this app and how to like post things and how to create like pictures so we can put it on the
Social.
social, yeah. And yeah, how to create groups and things. And like we did it.
Yeah.
Yay.
And we fell on our face a few times, but it,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
and I shout out to you because you do all the editing for our podcast. Like you've been
Oh,
doing an amazing job.
thank you. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
And I learned that I really enjoy it.
Yeah, no, and I learned that I really don't.
You were so funny that one day you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like,
Like, I'm
for
so
what?
sorry. I hate editing. I actually avoid it at all costs. I'm so sorry.
I really enjoy it. Like, I didn't think I did. I think if I have, like, if I do take a little bit more time to do some of the editing properly, but we do want to keep it authentic. So we try to keep some of our, like, natural ways of talking in it.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I like it. I like it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna regret saying it, but I do like it for now.
yes. We'll cross that bridge when you get there.
Yeah, I know there's still like 20 episodes we have. Oh yeah, by the way, fun
Hmm.
fact, people,
Yes.
listeners. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Um, we pre-record. Like I don't know if I'm sure you've all picked it up, but
Yes.
we pre-record. That's why I think there's still a Halloween episode or something
Yeah.
I was working on the other day. So, yeah.
And we also should put out there that we're not scripted, if you haven't noticed.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. That's why we cut each other off all the time.
I know.
Mostly me, I'm sorry.
If you would like to hear real Canadian women apologizing to each other, this is the
Yeah,
podcast for you.
serious. And I think we have a few episodes, like just raw footage where we're like, I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry, no, I'm
No, I cut you off again. I'm really sorry.
sorry. Oh my goodness.
Welcome to Canada. No
Yeah.
kidding. I forgot one thing. Decluttering. Decluttering the
Ah,
house.
that's a
Home
good
projects.
one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Loads of home projects.
Hmm.
Well, for me, my home projects were decluttering. So,
Hmm.
um, because my brother was moving in with us, we actually decluttered quite a bit
Hmm.
and got rid of tons of stuff, which was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, 2020 has really been a memorable year.
You can say that again. Well, it's like, I don't know if I brought this up before, but I just love the meme where it's Star Trek and it's Patrick Stewart and like one of the young ensigns, Wesley Crusher, and he's just like, how how come none of the doors have any buttons on them? It's like, let me tell you about the year 2020.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and feel free to tag us at hashtag Coffee and Bottles Podcast. Thank you for listening to Coffee and Bottles. Keep sipping on.